Good morning, traders. This is a live small cap day trading video. The market is open. It just opened right now. You could see that one of my SPXL trades just kicked in. Those are all automatic, and I'll go over those at the end of the day. But that's not going to be part of this video. But anyway, the market just opened. This is all live, and we're going to look for trades with our small cap day trading plan. And as soon as I get a chance today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the bid and the ask, because I think that's something that's very misunderstood. So as soon as we get a chance, we will do that. But for now, we are going to look for trades. You're looking at my desktop, and right now I am looking at my screener on my laptop, and I'll show you that screener in just a moment. But let me just make sure that there's nothing going off right now. Okay, so there's a stock that is very near our screener threshold, but if I remember correctly, it does not meet the daily chart criteria. So let's go ahead and pull it up right now just so we can quickly reject it. Yep, so you can see it is trading in a long-term downtrend that is made very obvious to us by just using the 200 MA on the daily chart. So if something is trading on a downtrend and I'm a long bias trader, so what that means is that I buy shares with the expectancy that the price is going to go up, then that means that I'm trading against the trend if I do that on a stock that is going in a long-term downtrend. So we don't do that. That's just part of the trading plan. It's not something I think about during the day. It's just built into the trading plan, so I do it automatically. All right, so let's get rid of that. The easiest way to do it is to just go back to this one chart view, and then I can go back to the 4-chart view. Right now, I'm going to show you the screener that I was looking at since we have a moment here. And then if there's nothing else up here, we'll take a few minutes here to talk about the bid and the ask and clear up any misunderstandings about that. It's actually a very simple concept. But I know it's quite confusing to a lot of new traders. It was to me as well when I was new. So now I'm seeing also VNet up here, so we have to check that one out as well. And that means that I need to also refresh my screen on my laptop. So I know it's maybe not the most convenient thing for you guys. You don't get to see the screener on my laptop. It looks exactly like what I just showed you. But it's just the way that I like to trade. That way when I'm kind of in the middle of a trade, or not in the middle of a trade, but when I'm watching a stock that may trigger a trade, I can keep an eye on the screener on my laptop. Once I'm in the middle of the trade, I totally forget about the screener. That part of the day is done. So anyway, yeah, VNet is an obvious rejection, just like the Riot was. So I'm just going to refresh the small cap screener once more, and if there's nothing else, then we can talk about the words of the day, so to speak. Let's see here. Wow, yeah, so I got to pull up just a more active day than I was expecting on the screener already. So that's good, though, because it's been dead lately, so maybe we'll actually get to take a trade today. So that's one thing that I'm never sure of. So MARA is also on the downtrend long term, so I have to reject that one. Yeah, one thing I'm never sure of each single day that I look for trades is that, am I going to take a trade or not? I don't actively seek something to trade, just for the sake of taking a trade. I seek stocks that actually meet my trading criteria, that meet my trading plan, and that's something unique that I do versus most other YouTube traders. I think that's what real traders do. You just don't get to see real traders very often here on YouTube. So anyway, let's see. I gotta go through the screener right now because it's a lot more active than normal. And then as soon as we get a chance, we will discuss the bid and the ask and kind of redefine those terms for you, make them easier to understand. So PZN is pretty interesting. It's up 45%. Again, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a good stock to trade or anything like that, and it's actually kind of low volume right now, but it's close enough to our threshold that we could at least pull it up to reject it possibly, or just keep it in mind if it's not rejectable on the daily chart. So let's look at PZN real quick. All right, so this one we do have to consider just because it's above the 200 MA here. So it's very far away, so I'm not going to mark out where the 200 MA is. And it's also very far away from 5%, so I don't really need to mark that out. But what we can do is place some lines here on the chart. Now, this is what I was kind of suspecting was going to happen, is when these things gap up like this in the pre-market in a kind of a horizontal fashion, they generally don't do anything at all throughout the day. So they usually just end up being ignored. But we'll go ahead and place our first important level of resistance that needs to be broken in order for us to even consider taking a trade. Once that level's broken, it doesn't mean we take a trade. It's just kind of the first step. So all of that is written in detail in the trading plan. I'm going to make an alert right now just so that I don't have to kind of keep a strong eye on it or anything like that. So let's go back to the daily chart here. I'm just checking to make sure that we've gone through everything on the screener. It's a lot more active day, at least as far as the screener is concerned, than we've been seeing in the small cap market. Here's another one we got to check, EVTL. That one's also above the 200 MA, so we got to make some lines here. So this one's about to trigger a trade, so we are going to probably focus on this stock here. Actually, the high is here. So this is the first level of resistance that needed to be broken. It's been broken. This is the second level. And it's about, so we have to focus on EVTL. That's the one that we are going to take our trades with. Well, I did that slightly prematurely, but let's see. And I mean committing to this stock because I thought it was just about to break that level and it didn't. But as long as it breaks this level, we have to commit to it. Otherwise, if it never gets over that $9 level, then we may consider some other stock. So let me go back to the 4-chart view just in case there is some other stock that pops up. I'll put an alert. Now, once this thing breaks over $9, then we're no longer allowed to look for another stock. And again, this is all part of the trading plan. That's all written in the trading plan. And that keeps me from bouncing around and going from stock to stock once I'm already kind of in that mode to be triggered for taking a trade. Sorry about that. This is all live, so give me a break. And I'm trying to juggle the screener while I'm watching this thing and explaining everything. So, all right. Just refresh the screener again. If I get a chance, I'll show you the screener on this screen as well. But it's just been such an active day so far that I haven't had a chance to. So it looks like we're all updated on the screener. And I'm going to have to kind of, I'll explain the bid and ask thing, and I'm going to have to stop in the middle to check the screener again, just since it's so active. I don't want to miss anything. So anyway, so let's talk about the bid and the ask, and let's make some very easy, simple definitions that will make it very clear to understand what those things are. Think about what you think they are right now. Maybe you have no idea, or maybe you have heard other people define the bid and the ask, and you have a certain idea about it. Wow, look at that EVTL. That's pretty cool to see that thing move like that. All right, so anyway, so I know not cool for the people that bought it at $9, that's for sure. Anyway, so let's see. So the bid and the ask. So let's think about an auction situation. I kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I want to go into a little more detail and make it more cut and dry and simpler. So the ask, let's forget about the auction right now. Sorry, I'm kind of shaken by this a little bit. But really what I wanted to say at the beginning here was what the ask is the price that the people that have the shares are willing to sell those shares for. Okay, that's all it is. It's very simple. You're trying to trade a stock. There's people that already own the shares, and there's people that want to buy some shares. The people that already own the shares, they're only willing to let it go for a certain price. They're only willing to sell those shares for a certain price. That's the ask price. And of course, it depends on time. It changes, right? So this one is 863 right now, whatever. It may be 858 in a minute. That's how it moves throughout the day. But in that moment, the ask price is the price that the people that have the shares are willing to sell it for. So if you want those shares, you better be willing to pay the ask. The bid is the price that the people that want to buy the shares are willing to pay, right? So in kind of an ideal scenario, the bid and the ask are the same, at least in the moment, right? Because you have people that, okay, I want $9 for this share. If the person bidding says, okay, I'll give you the $9 for the share, then the transaction occurs. The person gets those shares and it's done, right? And then the price of the stock is $9 in that moment. But when the bid is lower than the ask, nothing happens. So this whole concept of, let me try to buy the bid, right? You hear everyone say that on YouTube. I want to buy the bid for buying shares. You're not going to get those shares unless the ask comes down to that level. That's the only way people get filled, when they buy the bid. So buying the bid is basically like saying, you know what, I'm interested in some shares, but not really. Not that interested. I only want it if the price comes down to this level. So that means, to me, that you're not really that interested in trading that stock. You don't really have that much confidence in the trade working out. And that's probably not the case when most people buy the bid. They just don't understand how it works. And at least, that's my opinion from what I see others do in their trading videos, their live trades. So anyway, let's get back to the screener for a moment and just make sure we have not missed anything, because that was quite a bit of talking. But let me know what you guys think about my definition of the bid and the ask. It's not, maybe the way I worded it is something, I made up, but it's the definitions are definitely not made up. That's just how it is. So did that help you? Do you understand more about how the bid and the ask works? Do you understand why you wouldn't often get filled when you're buying the bid? Obviously, if you bought the bid here, you probably would have gotten filled because you saw the price flush down, right? So it would come down to those bids. But in the case where, say, the price is going up, when you're trying to buy shares and you try to buy at the bid price, you're not going to get filled because the price is going up at that moment. So if you really feel strongly about a trade working out and you want those shares of that stock, then you should buy the ask with an offset, meaning that you have some cushion in there. So when you hit the buy button, you're at wherever the ask is right now. But if the price is going up, almost immediately because other people are buying as well, you have an offset in there, and it depends really on the price of the stocks that you're trading. I trade up to $50. Even this would work for up to $100 stock, and I trade with an offset of 12 cents. So that means that if I hit the ask when the ask is $10, then I'm willing to pay as high as $10.12, which is a lot. It seems like a pretty big spread, but that's really there. That 12-cent spread is there for the higher price stocks. That almost never happens on a $10 stock. I would say if even with that 12-cent offset on a $10 stock, if I hit the ask, then I may get 3 or 4 cents slippage. And that 12 cents is just a buffer to protect me for when I'm trading the higher price stocks. So anyway, let me get back to the screener here and refresh it. And I'll show you the screener in just a moment if we have a chance, so you can see what I'm seeing. All right. So now EVTL is below 5%, which is interesting. It was up over 10% a minute ago. But I'm not really that concerned about the 5% thing. There's a threshold where I can't trade at stocks that are below 5%. But obviously, if it breaks out above that second yellow line again, it'll be way away from that, and I don't need to worry about that. So just for good measure, since I now see the 5% may be above that 849, I should calculate that anyway, though. So let's do that. We have a nice, easy tool here to do that with, and I'm looking at the close price on. Let's see, what is EVTL on my screener? The close price, 804. That's the previous close price. So I'll put that in there, 5%, and then this is our boundary price, which is just what I call the price that I can't take a trade below. So it's like no matter what else is going on, if everything else is perfect but the price is below this level, I can't take a trade. And that's pretty unlikely to happen in this case, but so that's that level there. All right, I'm just checking out the screener. Yeah, and if you remember that PZN stock that was up over 45%, that's still exactly where it is. So it's just moving horizontally, which that's what we generally expect those stocks to do that have this horizontal price action during the pre-market. They generally do the same thing throughout the day or start to kind of trickle off, sell off. So that's where we're at. And yeah, we're all updated on the screener. So let me show you the screener right now, just so you can see what I'm seeing. Make sure I'm not muted after saying all that stuff. Okay, good. All right. So there's the small cap screener. We're organizing the list by volume. And this is what I'm seeing on my laptop. So there's MARA. We looked at that. We looked at Riot very early. There's EVTL. It's now below the 5% threshold. COMM, that's a new one. So I need to pull that up and check. VNet, we checked. PZN, we talked about. And then after that, everything is below the volume threshold. So, what was it? COMM. So let's check that out on the charts page. We actually don't even need PZN up here because it doesn't meet the threshold. So we need to check the daily chart. Obviously that looked nice on the lower time frame, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't meet our daily chart criteria. We cannot take a trade or even look for a trade. So here I can see that it's kind of close to the 200 MA, so I can mark out where the 200 MA is, and that is at 874. And just so I don't get confused, I'm going to change the color of that one to purple. That's how I know that's where the 200 MA is. Now the other thing is that if this thing kind of gives us our setup before breaking over the 200 MA, we have to reject it entirely. So we have to look at that as well. Sorry, my cat is crying in the background. You can probably hear it. So I'm marking out the pre-market resistance here. Yeah, there wasn't much going on in the pre-market, but it still counts. And then, yeah, so on this one, it looks like we would have already been triggered into a trade based on the chart pattern. But of course, we couldn't take that trade because it was below the 200 MA. So we have to reject this stock. That's all this means. And that's why I'm kind of just going through this exercise. Yeah, so there's no way that we could take a trade on this, because if it comes down below this white line, then we're still way below the 200 MA, which is way up here. So we have to ignore COMM. And one other thing that is interesting is that I only trade till 10 a.m. or look for trades until 10 a.m. because that's the amount of time I've decided I'm willing to give the market each day for these small cap trades. This is very time consuming, especially when you consider adding up all of the trading days, right? A half-hour day doesn't seem like much, but after you get through 1 week, that's 2.5 hours. 10 weeks, that's 25 hours, you know. And before I used to trade an hour, so that's 50 hours, right? Anyway, but yeah, so I'm just not interested in giving up that much time to the market, especially considering how slow it is right now. There's just not a lot of action. in the small cap market. So half hour day is all I'm willing to give it. Just refreshing the screener here on my laptop, making sure that we're all caught up. And we are, and look at EVTL flush down. So the whole concept of these horizontal lines that I place out, they're just some sort of resistance that I've defined in my trading plan. But yeah, the concept behind those is to establish strength in the stock, right? So only once the three lines are out, and I don't mean the blue line, I should be more specific there. So we have the first line of resistance, which is from the pre-market or previous session, trading session, could be the previous day. We have the second line of resistance, which is from the high of day, the first high of day. And then the white line that I throw out, that's from the second high of day. And only once those three lines are established on the chart does my trading plan consider the stock to be strong. Okay, so that's kind of the key there. And does it always work? Absolutely not. But in this case, it did. EVTL did not break out through that second high of day and the first high of day and establish the second high of day, and it ended up being weak. So in this case, it did work. It's just a set of criteria that must be met in order for me to take a trade, and it's a way for me to repeat this trading plan every single day and execute it the same way every day so that I can collect the data and statistics on it and find out if it's profitable or not. That's something we've already done. We did that with 100 trades. It was actually 101 trades, and found out that it is profitable as long as we hold to a 3R profit target. So that's kind of the meat and potatoes behind all those lines. There's a little freebie because this trading plan, if you're interested, is available on patreon.com/tradingarmor. So as well as my trading calculator and all that other stuff. No pressure, but just if you're interested. I'm sure some people are wondering. So just checking the screener again. We've only got a few minutes here to go. Normally I pause, or not pause, but I normally mute for a little bit and, just let the screener keep running and go get coffee or whatever. But today has been pretty active because the screener has been more active than normal. I mean, when I say normal, I mean normal for 2022. It's been abnormal since the beginning of the year, that's for sure. Back when we started trading this plan, we were triggered to take trades almost every single day. And right now, the entry criteria to take a trade hasn't changed at all, yet we're rarely ever triggered to take a trade. So I think what's happening is the trading plan is keeping us out of trading because the market is pretty weak right now and it's pretty unpredictable. Just refreshing again. So that's key to keep an eye on the screener and refresh throughout the day or your trading session. Otherwise you can miss stuff. Yeah, there's nothing else, nothing new. I'll show you the screener now that we have a moment. So this is the small cap screener all refreshed. Oh, there's one. Well, it's just under our volume threshold, but it should come up in just a few minutes here. But we only have a few minutes left to trade, or to look for trades. We'll pull it up on the chart page just to see if we can reject it or if it's something we need to watch. Again, it's good habit to leave this on the daily time frame when you're checking stocks, especially if you're new, because you don't want to get excited about the chart pattern that's forming. intraday and think, oh, I got to jump into a trade right now. It's about to trigger it. It doesn't matter what's going on intraday if it doesn't meet your daily chart criteria. So 1333. It's about to break out over that level, but remember, we have to make sure that it didn't trigger a trade already. It looks like it has. Yeah, it definitely has. So we have to ignore it. Anytime they trigger trades below the 200 MA, we can't take a trade on it. So it's just part of the trading plan. That's what we did during the testing phase, and that's what made, that's what ended in a result of a profitable trading plan. So if I do anything other than that, that would be crazy because I don't know if it's profitable in the long run. So yeah, we got to ignore ARRY. So we'll just get rid of it, and we can get rid of PZN as well, I believe, because that hasn't actually, it does meet our volume criteria now. So we'll leave it there for now, even though it's not likely to do anything. We have about 4 minutes left, actually 3 minutes left. So it's not likely that we're going to take a trade today, but hopefully you found value in this video. If for nothing else, you saw someone sticking to their trading plan 100% of the time, and that is key. That is essential to being a profitable trader in the long term. The first step is developing a trading plan. And the second step is testing that trading plan, which means that you take 100 trades or more with that trading plan, however long that takes, and you don't deviate from that plan. So two things are happening there. You're developing the discipline to follow your plan. And secondly, you are collecting data that is testing that trading plan, and it's eventually going to prove whether or not that plan works or not. And if it proves that the plan is profitable, then you can go full position size. And I think you should do that in a stepwise fashion. So full position size is not like a fixed thing. It should be based on where you're at in your trading with that plan. So when you're testing, you trade one single share. Once you've proven that plan is profitable with one single share, then you go to the next phase of full position size. With small cap stocks, you don't need that much money to trade multiple shares. So I think trading with $100 per trade is the next step. So that's what we're doing right now. And once we complete 100 trades with that position size, then we will increase it if it's still profitable. So far it is, but we haven't taken many trades with it since we finished the test, just because we haven't been triggered to take many trades. So anyway, we're just about wrapping it up here. I'm just going to refresh the screener one last time. Yeah, right now there's only about a minute and 20 seconds left, a minute 15, and there's no way we're going to be able to take a trade at this point. So again, hopefully this video was helpful to you. My goal with these videos obviously is to take a trade if all our trading criteria is met. If it hasn't been, actually, let me rephrase that. My goal every single day is to follow my plan 100%. All right. I mean, I would love for these videos to always include a trade, because I know that's more entertaining for the YouTube viewers. But what I think is more important is to show you that you can not only develop a trading plan, but you can develop the discipline to follow it. That is the key, because that's what I'm doing every single day. I'm just following the trading plan. I only take trades when every criteria is met and when I'm triggered to take a trade according to the plan. That's it. And if that doesn't happen, then I don't take a trade, and nothing is lost at that point. So hopefully you're getting some value out of seeing someone do that, because that's pretty rare on YouTube. Most people are just trying to entertain you by taking trades. jumping in and jumping out of trades and getting views. So anyway, here's the alarm. So we have to stop looking for trades right now. You may have noticed at the beginning of the video, we are in a SPXL trade. That's part of a separate trading plan that has nothing to do with a small cap plan. And that one is pretty much completely automatic, except for when I close the trade at the end of the day. So I will have a video later showing the closing out of that trade, and we'll go over all of the data and statistics that we've collected so far. That's trade number 26. So we've gotten quite a few trades in the record books with that trading plan. So that's it for today. Again, hit the like button if this was helpful to you. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that I said. I said a lot in this video, so hopefully you found value in that. As always, go into every single trade with a plan. Stick to that plan no matter what. Always take your stop losses, honor your profit targets, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.